Hi, Overcomers. It's Marci, your host on the Overcomers podcast. Just a shameless plug. If you haven't gotten my book already, it's on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. But this book will take you through uh, what you need to get started on overcoming the world. And you can do that. That Jesus was our example. And so he said he overcame the world. He gave you the opportunity to do it as well. So we can get all the stuff that the world has thrown at us out of us. All of that negative stuff, all of that stuff that's holding us back, that's keeping us from who he says we are. Today, we're going to talk about, I guess, for a lack of a better word of saying it, healing emotions. Um, Again, we've talked almost every episode. I explained about the subconscious and how when we have emotions that we do not fully express, they get trapped in us. And emotions are energy. And so I think of them as like little balls of energy that are sitting in our body in places. Okay. And they're still there. And guess what? Those emotions create our behavior. Okay. The emotions, the lies, all of the stuff that we're talking about, this is the stuff that controls our behavior. So if we don't like how we're behaving, we got to look at what is causing us to do that. Okay. And I just feel my heart just goes out to people who feel stuck in patterns. And that's one of the reasons that I did this is because I have patterns I'm stuck in. And I've been working through those things and I try to recognize them and see, look, I'm not living in this area of my life. I'm not living like God designed me to. But I keep seeing the same behavior over and over and over again, but I'm powerless over it. I can't, there's nothing I can do to consciously move past it. Does that make sense? I'm sure that if you thought about it, you would come up with something that it's some kind of a pattern that you're stuck in. And it could be anything, really. So that's what, this book is to help you to find those things and and to learn to be cognizant. Okay. I think that's really important. At least in my life, I have found that ability to see my life, really see my patterns and see what is not working and what is not quite working the way God wanted it to. Okay. How is my life not like God wanted it to be? Um, and so that's a really good way to look at where am I stuck? Okay. Where are my patterns that are holding me back? Because what do? We get frustrated. We go to the self-help gurus. We try and do their thing, and we end up in it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Well, because you're buttoned up against your subconscious and everything that you believe you're about. Okay. All right. Enough of that. So, healing emotions. I've got two scenarios I want to talk about today. One is, let's say you're in the middle of a situation and you feel down or you feel sad and you just can't shake it. You don't seem to be moving past that thing. Or it's something that you really can't express in the situation, right? right away when you notice that you are feeling something negative, you can choose at that moment to use this technique we're going to talk about and have that feeling removed. I cannot tell you how many times I have had a situation where I was feeling down about something or sad or pick the negative emotion, right? And I use this technique and it was gone. Okay. Because that's what Jesus does. And he loves to do it for us. Okay. So here's the other scenario. The other scenario will be, when you have a memory and you feel the feelings that you had in that time, those are trapped emotions. And that trapped emotion is sitting in your body wreaking havoc on you. It's either causing you behavior or it could even cause you physical ailments. And we will talk about that. We're going to do physical ailments, healing those um, later on. So it's really a good idea to work on some of these things. Okay, so what are you going to do? Let's take the first scenario. You are in the middle of a situation, you feel cruddy, pick your emotion, let's say sad, and you don't want to feel that way. Now, I'm giving you this technique, and I'm not saying that you will stop being sad about the situation or you'll stop worrying about whatever the situation is, that you're disregarding it. We're not doing that at all. We're just not going to allow those negative emotions to sit in us. Okay. This is not about disregarding, because we as sons of God, we tackle problems head on and we do them as sons. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. You're feeling sad. Take 1 minute or less. This can take 15 seconds. Just close your eyes and see yourself in your mind's eye. This is your sanctified imagination. Let's talk about that for a minute, just in case you don't know. Close your eyes for me right now. And I want you to picture in your mind the beach. We'll just pick that. You see the sand, you see the ocean or the lake. You see umbrellas, you see people. You can create that in your own mind, in your mind's eye, as I call it. It's also called the sanctified imagination. Okay. God gave that to us. So I want you to, now we're going back to feeling sad. I want you to, in your mind's eye, picture yourself handing, or this is how I do it. I take sad out of my body. I put it in a box, put the lid on it, maybe put a nice ribbon on it, because this is a gift. And I believe Jesus sees this as a gift. Okay. Then you're going to ask Jesus to come and take it from you. Watch yourself give it to Jesus. And then check back and see how you feel. I can't tell you how many times I have done this simple thing. And all of a sudden, that feeling just lifted. Okay. Now let's say you've got a memory. We can have happy memories. We can have memories that don't have such happy that aren't such happy memories that don't have nice feelings attached to them. So you may have loved going to your grandmother's house because she made cookies, and you walk by a bakery and you smell that same smell, and it evokes that memory, right? And if we pull up a memory that's not so happy, and you feel an emotion over it, we can remove that emotion. So let's take a very common one. Let's say embarrassment. Let's say you were in middle school, something happened, and it was mortifying to you, and you were embarrassed. Show me a middle schooler who doesn't have that situation. You can, what I want you to do is remember the memory, and you will feel the feeling again, even if it's just dread, right? You will feel whatever that feeling was. And I want you to give it to Jesus. Put it in the box and hand it to him. Watch yourself do it in your mind's eye. And then you're going to go back to that memory. Think of that memory again, bring it up, watch it happen like a movie, and see if you have any other feelings. So the first time you have embarrassment. You give embarrassment to him. And then you bring up the memory again and see if something else is attached to it. Maybe dread, maybe um, being mortified, maybe sad, maybe mad, right? It just depends on what the memory is. You might have other emotions attached to it. So when you feel those, go ahead and put them in the box. Hand them to Jesus. And you're just going to do this until you can watch that memory with no emotion attached to it. Now, you still have the memory. We will have those memories. Another really good way a friend of mine told me about is to use the blood of Jesus over a memory. And I've done this a number of times as well. Pull up the memory, watch it on the screen, and then watch yourself. I use a bucket, like a paint bucket and a sponge. I watch myself with a paint bucket and sponge, and in the bucket is the blood of Jesus. And I dip the sponge. Sounds kind of gory, but and I just wipe it over the whole memory. And again, you would be surprised at what that does. Such simple things. He doesn't want healing to be complicated. So, those are two scenarios that you can use this very simple technique. And this technique I originally got from the Praying Medics book, Emotional Healing in 3 Easy Steps. And it's a good book. You can get it on Kindle for like $5. I highly recommend it. Super simple, but this is effective. So all those memories that you do not want to have emotion attached to, the ones with all the negative, right? You can be proactive and you can go after some of those. Or as you're, thinking about something, let's say, you're just tripping down memory lane one day, whatever, and that memory comes to you, go through this process. You may try it for a little while, just intentionally to do this so that you're practiced at it and you know how to do it and you could do it at the drop of a hat. Okay. Because that's that's the goal, is to not allow the world to take over in us. Okay. And that's healing emotions. It's as simple as that. Go for it. Set yourself free of all that stuff. Have a great day.